14 titles. Spooky music. Welcome to another. Let me find the voice box. Yeah.
Fortean words. Extra spooky.
And we are live. Hobbits stuff in his face. Today we're talking about mammoth bull bags.
I am here. Yeah.
Are you ready to talk about mammoth bull bags, Hobbit?
Well, yeah, and I'm also ready to talk about spag bowl.
Spag bowl. Let's talk about spag bowl first, shall we?
The spag bowl's very nice. I've run out of grated cheese, so I've used some salt and some Tabasco instead.
Nice.
It's not quite the same, but it's still quite nice.
So where do you want to start with mammoths? Because if Fraser is here, we were going to talk about the gap between dinosaurs and the weird stuff that happened between dinosaurs and mammals was part of the stuff we were going to talk about.
The other bit which I want is like many years ago in them olden days when dinosaurs and mammoths were about, things and the world was very different to what it is now. And I've been thinking about this, and so I've given it some serious thought, which is all about 5 minutes, and I started realizing that I don't think that the current story is 100% accurate, right? As they say, oh yeah, the woolly mammoths because they live places which are really cold, like Siberia. Well, Siberia now is really cold. I don't know if that was necessarily true many years ago.
So what sort of time period are we looking at? Because then I could probably look at the Siberian climate at that.
Well, I think they say like the last mammoths were 10,000 years ago. Around about the end of the Ice Age.
What does it say? I found that my ladybug book of dinosaurs from 1974 from when I was a child.
Oh, that's good.
It's got no. I just thought it'd be interesting to see what they said then and what they've changed it to. No, they don't really give timescales in this.
John mentions that there are 3 films called Mammoth listed on IMDb. Only one of them has anything to do with mammoths.
Is it? Are some of them to do with boobies?
Mammoths. It's an important subject. It really is.
Yeah, I was looking for because I heard a story years ago that they'd found the mammoth and it had an intact bull bag and they'd found some semen. But don't ever Google mammoth semen find, and because all it talks about is nofap. That's all you hear about when you try and Google that.
That's why, right? Because I was suggesting if you type in mammoth genetics and a mammoth surrogate elephant cow, then you might have got a bit further. But
yeah,
I think no. Just as an aside, there.
Right. Wikipedia tells us now. So they lived from the Pliocene epoch, from around 5 million years ago, to the Holocene.
Epoch.
Yeah, the Pleistocene.
Pleistocene to the Holocene.
Yeah, around 4,000 years ago. So they had a good fucking run, and then all of a sudden they couldn't cope anymore.
Was there only 6 million of them?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they died out in the Hollow Bunga.
So, with some surviving on Russia's Wrangel Island in the Arctic Ocean until as recently as roughly 3,700 to 4,000. So they must have been carnivorous then if they were living in... Then, mustn't they?
Well, I don't know what is there to eat on that island.
Oh, right.
Because...
So, no, hold on. I haven't read this quite right. The last species to emerge, the woolly mammoth, developed about 400,000 years ago in East Asia.
Right. Yeah. So, the thing is, an elephant, which we know, it needs a lot of food every day to live, because they're big creatures. And that's why you don't find elephants that far north, because there's just not enough vegetation for them to go around. And you can't really get, like... in fact, that would have been a very interesting thing. See, like, if the Romans had anything to say about Hannibal's army and the elephants, and what did they
hold on.
feed
I've
them
just
on?
looked this up. So it says, from records from a particularly warm period, marine isotopic stage 11, that occurred around 400,000 years ago, suggest that global warming of 1.5 degrees Celsius compared to the modern pre-industrial climate is enough to cause substantial thawing of permafrost. No, it's not mentioning it. So it's saying it was probably 1.5 degrees warmer than it is now.
So they're saying 400,000 years ago, people were leaving the lights on and leaving the fridge doors open.
Yeah. I mean, mammoths had to start driving Priuses.
Ah, I see. So the thing is, if we could go back in time to them olden days when the woolly mammoths were around, you'd probably find they were living in conditions which I would say probably like a place similar to like Scotland. Well, even maybe Scotland would have been too cold for them, because
Marco
there's not
Coletti
much-
Spaghetti says that mammoths went extinct on No Nut November.
Ah, that's why it happened. Yeah.
That's why you find all the No Nut stuff surrounding mammoths, because that's when they died out.
Oh, well, there you go. So no nut is a genocide agenda.
Yeah. Dumb Elf Kicker says the Asian elephant is a closer relative of the woolly mammoth than the African elephant. You know how to tell the difference, because apparently the ears are the similar shape to the continent, aren't they?
Are they?
Apparently so. I'm sure I heard that somewhere.
I was told the Asian elephants have smaller ears than the African elephants.
But apparently the ears are the same shape as the continents. It might be absolute bollocks, but yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it would be a bit weird if African elephants had Africa ears and they had Asian ears. But yeah. So here's the thing. That was a delicious spag bowl, by the way. My compliments to the chef. Now, see, things have changed a bit since your story, where they were like, "Oh, we found an intact mammoth ball bag and it's got some coom in it."
Yeah.
So if we extract the coom,
because they were literally like, because this is where I found out that dead sperm, you can fertilize an egg with dead sperm, but you can't fertilize an egg with live sperm and a dead egg.
No.
So that was where that's where I got that information from, that you can like have a viable thing with a sperm. But all of a sudden that sperm, like, nobody, it's like been completely wiped from the internet. It didn't exist.
Yeah, here's the thing. So I think IVF, which they were first working on it, in the 1980s? With IVF, that's where they figured out, like, yeah, even if your sperm's not very motile, if it's still got a viable chromosome load in it, you can inject it into an ovum, and then it will fertilize. So Uno says Ice Age is a myth. Well, I've got some questions about the Ice Age, and unfortunately, when I have questions, people tend to get upset.
Yeah.
So now, the understanding.
What difference does ridges in teeth make? Because it says
If you've got a herbivore. I don't know about horse and cow teeth, but the ridges help grind up grass and other vegetation.
Because it says so. Only its molars are known, which show it had 8 to 10 enamel ridges. A population evolved 12 to 14 ridges and split off from and replaced the earlier type, becoming M. meridionalis. In turn, this species was replaced by the steppe mammoth, M. trogonthieri, with 18 to 20 ridges, which evolved in East Asia circa 1.8 million years ago. So the steppe mammoth became the dominant mammoth thing.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that because I've been apprised of this Vice News article saying scientists find they're talking about tights. They say pantyhose because they're American. Find putting tights on your head makes your mask safer. There you go. So
It's better for robbing banks as well, isn't it? Because your face is all squashed up. They can't really do a proper description.
Yeah.
So we literally got to go and rob banks now. Literally, well, I might as well. I'm all geared up for it. And they're going to say like, well, what you need to do is put a stocking on your head and have a shotgun as well.
Hang on. When the banks steal from you, that's inflation. But when you steal from the banks, that's
crime.
10 to 20 years, yeah. Now, the thing is, in the preceding
Hold on
years,
a second. So it says here, the woolly mammoth would replace the steppe mammoth in Europe during the late Middle Pleistocene, around 200,000 years ago.
Oh, what? So they're doing the jobs which the steppe mammoth... Oh, no, the steppe mammoth came in. And,
the steppe mammoth was doing the jobs that... No, the woolly... No, the woolly mammoth was doing the jobs that the steppe mammoth wouldn't do.
So was there a mammoth divorce? Because you talk about steppe and ex-mammoths and...
No, they were just known as the new mammoths.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so...
Well, Dom, if you want to pop on and stop us grubbing around in the dark, Elf, Dom, you can...
I will get this point out. Right?
Yeah.
The understanding previously was, and what you were told was
Dom wants to know, can you fertilise someone with a crusty wanking sock? Is that in theory yes, or does it have to be liquid semen?
I don't know what happens to the semen when it goes into a wank rag, because maybe when it dries out, then the sperm die. But as you found out, dead sperm can still be used to fertilise.
Well, no, they're basically tadpoles. So if you have a dried out tadpole, like it's not gonna do well, is it?
No, it's not. It's probably much easier probably to extract some viable sperm cells from a liquid sample. But anyway, the idea was back then when they first talked about like bringing back the woolly mammoth, was that, well, we got the male sex chromosome, so we got half of the chromosomes there, and maybe it's close enough to the Asian elephant that if we put it in, like a horse with a donkey, you get a mule. And then maybe from the mules we can do something, or we can look at something that was similar to a mammoth, but you still end up with a mule. The current understanding is you use stem cells. You get stem cells and soft tissue. Skin does it. But also, when they abort babies, they use the stem cells from the kidneys.
Don't they inject it into Nancy Pelosi's face so she can cope with Jerry Nadler's farts better?
No, what they do there is you see, the reason all them babies have got to be circumcised in America is that they can grind it up and make like a human skin pate, and that is used as anti-aging cream because the collagen and the stem cells in it do repair skin.
Oh, but yeah, isn't it monkey semen they inject into Nancy Pelosi's face to keep it?
I don't know about that, beautiful. But I do know.
What's the monkey thing they put in? Isn't Botox something to do with monkeys?
No, that's botulism toxin. It's one of the world's most deadly toxins. It's banned under biological warfare and the Hague and all that. It's considered even more like hardcore than nuclear fallout because it's self-replicating. But then they're going, oh, well, hang on, this paralyzes muscles and kills them. What if we inject it into people's cosmetic things?
What if we inject a little bit into them?
Yeah, but anyway, the thing is that they use foreskins and grind them up into a pate. So all the women with the anti-aging creams, congratulations, you.
Are you doing this to just to distract from the fact that Jerry Nadler
shit himself? Yeah. He didn't fart. He shit himself.
Sharted.
Yeah, when there's a fart with a follow through, that's a Jerry Nadler. Now,
Nadlered yourself.
yeah, you've Nadlered your knickers. But anyway,
what the hell? European mammoths had a major diet of C3 carbon fixation plants.
Right, so we've been half an hour into.
I can hear the feedback.
Great. We've been half an hour into this, and I've nearly got to the bit about stem cells.
Okay.
So if you got some soft tissue like kidneys, which they take from abortions to grow vaccines from, you can take that tissue and you can revert it back into its stem cell state, and from there, from a stem cell, you can make a zygote. And then you can make a clone. And making a clone of a mammoth is much better than trying to do a mule between a mammoth and an elephant, which they don't even know would be viable. It might be.
Well, like I say, this sperm has completely disappeared. I don't know whether someone drunk it. One of these rich people drunk it or something.
Well, there has been people that have eaten like mammoth flesh before. It's happened quite a few times. Like is it the Historical Society? They had a meeting in 1905 and they were having bits of mammoth jerky. And I know there's this bloke in Siberia with the slitty eyes.
Did you know this? Yamal baby mammoth lubia found 2007 in the Yamal Peninsula in western Siberia suggests that baby mammoths, as do modern baby elephants, ate the dung of adult animals.
Yeah, like you know how
well, it's only grass, isn't it?
Well, you know how like they say you should breastfeed your children so that they get the mother's immunity. Yeah, animals do that, but like with the dung as well. Because
it says that it's because the teeth of the baby mammoth are not yet fully developed to chew grass, so it's like
so in other words, that's like mammoth baby food.
Yeah, and elephant baby food, so that elephants do it as well, apparently.
So it's been like because you know when they give the babies baby food, it's all been pureed up, so you don't chew it, you can just swallow it.
So what they're saying, coprophilous fungi are now fungi that grow on animal dung and disperse spores in nearby vegetation, which a baby mammoth would then consume. Spores might have gotten on into its stomach while grazing for the first few times. Coprophagy might be an adaptation serving to populate the infant's gut with the needed microbiome for digestion.
So, yeah, okay, all right. I know deer do the same thing, but there it's the deer mothers. They eat the scat from their young so that wolves won't smell it because the young.
What a lovely little cul-de-sac we've come down here, Rabbit.
Yeah, well, we're in shit posting hours now, but anyway, hopefully, if they get it right, they'll have mammoth clones. But then the question is, well, what does the mammoth eat and where does it eat? And at some point, we're going to get into the mystery of why is it that these mammoths have got undigested food in their stomachs, which show that they recently died, like they were flash frozen.
But they're also saying that some of the mammoths survived in north central Siberia at least as late as 2000 BC.
Well, have you seen those paintings where they say, like they're 500 years old? These paintings, and they show men riding on dinosaurs. And now they say, oh, they aren't dinosaurs. And here's another thing as well. They're not camels. They're dromedaries. Like, what, is this like a Mandela effect? Because I've been like interested in camels and horses and all sorts of like, what animals can a human ride upon? And to my knowledge, man can ride upon horse, donkey, mule, elephant.
Zebra.
Yeah, zebras. You can ride on pigs, not very well. You can ride on a bull. They'll try and buck you off, though. You could probably ride on a gorilla if they'd let you on it. But I've never, ever heard of something called a dromedary. And I don't think anybody's ridden a llama either, on an alpaca. But, yeah.
Oh, his mic's not working.
I was going to say mic troubles.
Yeah. It was working to start with, because I heard him. I heard a bit of sniffing too. I think he was on the wrong mic, wasn't he?
Oh, I see.
Have another go.
But But yeah, I did this thing of dromedaries. But the reason I mentioned dromedaries is because that was it. Madflowers was showing me this video, and it was showing these paintings from 500 years ago, and they're saying that, oh, this just shows people riding dromedaries. I'm like, yeah, but camels, not dromedaries. They don't look like that.
Actually, speaking of weird stuff, did you know the first horse was called the Eohippus? It was 12 inches high, had toes and not hooves.
Right, because I seem to remember that, because they said...
This is according to the Ladybird Book of Dinosaurs, by the way.
The hooves all coagulated together and formed a hoof. So you do see, like, deer and stuff with split
Did you know there was
hooves.
also a woolly rhinoceros as well as the hippo, and as well as the mammoth?
I do, because you told me in the pre-show, so I'm not going to probably going...
Do you really think... Do you really
Can you hear me?
That's it,
I can hear
perfect.
you.
We can hear you,
brilliant,
loud and clear.
But
What would you like to add?
For me?
Yeah.
Do you want to know about this Mammoth film?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it 10,000 BC?
No, it's called Mammoth. On a hot summer afternoon in the sleepy town of Blackwater, Louisiana, locals exiting a retrofitted theatre excitedly watch as a meteor streaks across the sky and crashes through the roof of the local Natural History Museum. No one realises that the meteor is actually a spaceship containing a shape-shifting life form. In order to adapt to Earth's atmosphere, the life form latches on to the first organism it comes into contact with, partially frozen woolly mammoth found in a historic exhibit, which the town is famous. As a series of uncanny disasters unfold, the town quickly finds itself overrun by the alien-possessed mammoth. And it goes on. So yeah, it looks like it's a B movie, but it looks like it's quite self-aware because one of the characters is a B movie enthusiast.
Oh, so it's not like suburban Sasquatch?
Sasquatch, yeah.
No.
Suburban Sasquatch. Oh, okay. I've also now it's not related to mammoths, but it came up when I was looking for mammoths. Barack Obama's signature. It looks like a cock and balls.
Yeah, I think I've seen that before.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, all right. I'll just can I how do I can I copy the image and then I can paste it in there and
chuck it in. What you can do? Chuck it in general in here.
Yeah, that's it, and then we can share it with the audience. And this is since we're on the subject of mammoth ball bags. Here's one.
Here's a mammoth balls up, isn't it?
I reckon he's trolling.
Could be.
Well, his 8-year presidency was a massive joke at our expense.
Yep. The expense of innocent children. He drone bombed.
And not one single day of peace was there.
No, I thought that's is that why they gave him the Nobel Peace Prize?
Look, there's a mammoth cock. It's even spunking.
Oh, very, very hard hitting show today. I do apologise. I didn't. It's like I know I've got an obligation to the audience, but I'm a bit tired, bit worn out.
I think you mentioned like inseminating an elephant.
It's
create a mammoth.
Yes.
I think I've heard of them talk about this before. Actually,
do you remember hearing that report that they'd found like a mammoth and the ball bag? They managed to get some semen out of it.
I haven't heard that particular one, but they were
preserved spunk.
I don't know if it's related or not, but they were theorising that they could impregnate an elephant, and because if you look on Wikipedia on the diagram, mammoth and the Asian elephant are in the same family, and then further back than that is a Paleoloxodon, which is extinct. Further back than that still is the African elephant.
The mammoth's only a little bit bigger than a present day elephant because my big book of facts, the Ladybird Book of Dinosaurs, has got a comparison in it. So like the mammoth is just a little bit bigger than a regular elephant.
Oh, in addition to the ancestor of the horse, donkey, and all that, I remember it being called a quagga, and that had like split toes.
But there was also the Botulism, which was this animal was 3 times as tall as a man. It was 20 feet long and ate leaves and twigs, and it looks like a big horse, basically.
Oh, lizard, interdimensional lizard. He points out. They said the same day that they were giving out Barry Sotero's Peace Prize is the day they bombed the moon to see if it had any water. And is that the day when they bombed the moon and then they said it was hollow and it sounded like it was a struck bow? Oh, Alphabet Cat says the quagga is a half zebra, half horse. I didn't know. I thought it, because it's got split hooves, it hasn't got like a thing. So I thought the quagga was... Let me just have a look. What is a... Come on, I'll get one of these up. No, not Fortean words. I need that one open. What is a cross between the zebra and the horse called? Question mark. In the meantime, I'm also going to look up what a quagga is. It's called a zebroid. A zebroid is the offspring of any cross between zebra and a horse. Quagga. What is it? There's quagga muscles. Quagga project.
There you go, Hobbit. There's the Botulism. Oh, okay. In this, it looks kind of like a horse, but now they've decided to make it look like a rhinoceros for no reason.
Is it like when they get like a skull of an otter
of a rabbit
or a rabbit, and they make it look like some horrid demon beast?
Yeah.
But then artist depiction. Oh, so.
But it did look like a big horse, but now they've tried to make it look like a rhinoceros. Obviously, artistic effect, obviously.
Oh, okay. So the quagga, Equus quagga, is an Why have they put an subspecies?
Because it's
subspecies. That's a consonant. It's not. No, it's a subspecies of the plain zebra that was endemic to South Africa until it was hunted extinction in the late 19th century by European settler colonists.
They always put an before the letter H, which is a consonant, like an heroic act.
Oh,
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, they do that because they were like originally those words didn't have the H before it.
Well,
but
do
then they
this
decided...
then, Hobbit. You Google the Megatherium. You've got it everything from looking like a raccoon to looking like a sloth. Like they're literally fucking making this shit up as they go along.
The quagga does look like a striped horse. It's yeah.
You see in the news today there was a woolly mammoth remains found in Devon.
Oh
no, I haven't found the Devon one. The one I've found mostly is the one about Swindon.
Apparently, the remains of a woolly mammoth have been found among a host of hugely significant Ice Age animal bones in a cave in Devon. Experts
yes, I think that was one of the stories I found. Is that the one David Attenborough's in sticking his nose into?
Would have thought so, yeah.
He's sticking more than just that.
And they found remains of woolly rhinoceros.
Yeah,
wolf,
as is the case of all like dead legit things, they found a bone sticking out of the ground, didn't they?
Oh, we found this tiny section of femur. Here's our artist's depiction of what this creature would have looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's But anyway, there's an attempt by a group in South Africa to use selective breeding to achieve a breeding lineage of Burchell zebra, which visually resemble the extinct quagga. So it's not going to be a quagga, it's just going to be a zebra what looks a bit like a quagga.
So yeah, a couple accidentally uncover a mammoth graveyard and Noah Attenborough is their pal.
Yeah.
Because I trust David Attenborough. He's on the up and up, isn't
he? I trust David Attenborough when it comes to wanting. If you want somebody that will advocate for increase in the teletax.
Oh no, this is the one Swindon, Wiltshire. I haven't found the Devon one.
Wiltshire.
The discovery of a The discovery of a lifetime came when the pair spotted something odd sticking out of the mud at a freshly dug gravel pit near their home in Swindon, Wilts. It turned out to be the top of a huge fossilised leg bone, and when they searched some more, they unearthed a huge haul of tusks and bones dating back more than 200,000 years, Hobbit.
Whilst you're doing that, I got curious about what is the ancestor of the horse called. Very first result is called returntofreedom.org, Wild Horse Nations Evolution.
It's the Eohippus Hobbit, and it was 12 inches tall.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, I found like the Hippodrome in Rome is not called that because that's like a place where they had hippos.
Yeah,
that's where they did the horse races with the chariots.
Oh.
Well, like hippopotamus means water horse.
Oh, right, there you go. Yeah, because the hippo, it's like Roman horse. That's like, what's a horse in Latin? Hippo. All right, okay. So and that's the other thing. Like they had chariot races then because back then they hadn't bred horses for riding on horseback. That's not true. They had equites on horseback.
That's ridiculous.
It was the Celts that didn't have them.
What about the Mongols? They were already riding on horses.
John Wayne as Genghis Khan, absolute classic.
Well, they prior to the Mongols, you had the Scythians, and they were riding on horse. Yeah, no, it's just it was.
Hold on, is Ian still in here? This bitch is throwing shade at Swindon. Ian A. She said, "I don't think you've been to Swindon before. It's not a place you'd visit unless you're a fan of roundabouts."
Yeah, no, I've been on the Magic Roundabout enough times to know that it's. You know the reason why they did it, right? I've spoken with Swindonians. Well, no, I've spoken with Swindonians before, and they said the reason they tested the Magic Roundabout and the Swindonians first is because they're expendable, and they also figure that if the Swindonians can figure out the Magic Roundabout, then anybody can.
Emma Hempstead's got one as well that's quite similar. Is it one big roundabout with a load of mini roundabouts around the edge? Is that the Magic Roundabout?
Yeah, it is, but that means that if you want to, you can drive around it in reverse by going in the inside bit, which is actually pretty good if you want to get to like just next door. So instead of doing the fifth exit where you go all the way around, you can just go around the roundabout, go forward one, look on that, look at your traffic on the right. When it's clear, go off, right, and then you've done it. And it does work. The traffic on that is much less than what you'd get if you had a big roundabout.
I reckon I could run for mayor of Swindon by pledging to build a tunnel under the whole lot.
Sped West says his hobbit secretly Sargon. I can't smugly chuckle enough.
Can't smuckle.
No, I can't. And also, the thing is, he's making loads of money.
Oh, so they took Sir David to the quarry where they found bones along with primitive hand axes and blades, apparently.
But if I was Smuckles, why would I be doing slumming it here on the Hemi show?
Yeah,
with as top.
When you could be with V. Apparently, V's been stabbed in the back, hasn't he? I heard.
Has he? Oh, okay. Well, is it like a peasant uprising against the Count?
Yeah. I think he's been stabbed in the back. There's been a.
Are you talking about Sargon from the Lotus Eaters podcast? Or
yeah,
else?
you know his little Romanian gypsy manservant, don't you, V?
His Renfield.
Yeah, he's the Renfield to his Count Dracula. No, that's not. He's not Count Dracula.
No.
To be fair to Sargon, it looks like he's dropped a few pounds. He's looking well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's yeah. We know Marco Coletti and Sargon have had a meeting before.
They're very good. They're very good friends, aren't they?
Yeah. They go to the same Spoons. Oh no, Mark Collett would never go to Spoons. They're not slumming it with the ruffians there.
He wouldn't want us to go with the plebs, would he?
No.
Found the Mammoth the Mammoth one on the Guardian. So Bones of Ice Age mammoth, bison, rhinoceros, wolf, and hyena uncovered by digger on outset. I mean, if you're going to find one, you might as well find the lot, hadn't you? I bet.
Yeah.
It could be a case of there's been places where a lot of animal bones have been found, where there's been these kind of depressions in the earth where carbon dioxide sits. So animals go in there and then suffocate and die. Which is why you get a lot of different species of animals together. Could be that kind of thing.
Yeah, so they've found a cave system that was uncovered by a digger. So they none of the searches or the or any of the other stuff found this fucking cave system. That puts, because it's in a 5,500 home development. That really fills you with confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got to see some new builds today, and I'm like, I doubt these buildings will even stay up for 20 years, yet alone 10 years, yet alone 20 to 30.
Yeah.
What's the idea in this? Like, we'll make a house, but will I make it last 20 or 30 years? That should be criminal.
Should be.
I mean, it's like you've destroyed this field, so you can't have the arable land back. And you're building on found, and as the driver's mate, he said to me today.
Well, actually, Dom, whether all of these creatures uncovered at Sherford coexisted or lived at different points over a much longer time span is uncertain. One theory is that some of the creatures fell into a pit and were unable to escape, and carnivorous scavengers followed and met a similar fate. Or the animals died elsewhere and the bones washed into the area over periods of time. One of the two.
I fell into a burning tar pit.
Yeah, there's tar pits, isn't there? There's some of them in America, isn't there?
Yeah.
I went down, and old David...
It's not a tar pit, it's just a hole.
I was going to say David Cameron. No, David Bellamy's got a career. No, not David Bellamy. Who's the one I don't like? David Attenborough, that's it.
Yeah.
I like David Bellamy. He's all right.
You like David Cameron?
No, I don't like... I had the misfortune of meeting David Cameron once. He was
fucking a pig. Pig's head.
No, well, he was eating some roast pork because we had roast pork catering was being done, but we had all. So I was there, right, in being invited to. Oh, let's not make it too doxy. To a public building. I was being given a tour of it, and it was like a consolation prize of like, this is what you could have had during your tenure, but you're not going to get it because David Cameron wants to grandstand.
Oh, hold on! I've just got a public service amount. Don't forget, fuck you, Whitey, and you can support the Guardian for as little as £1. It only takes a minute. If you can, please consider supporting us with a regular amount each month. Thank you. And again, fuck you, Whitey.
Yeah, because remember, it's Ooga Booga Eek month.
No. Well, you know, it's the Guardian, isn't it? So it's fuck you, Whitey. You die soon.
Yeah. Hobbit is a globalist confirmed. Fuck off. So anyway, I'm there at this place.
Globe cuck. He's saying you're a globe cuck, Hobbit.
I don't get it. I really do. He's going to have to explain himself. Now, I'm there at this function, right? And I'm just playing cards with my friend because we're supposed to be getting a tour of like the facility. And Secret Service.
And you took a pack of cards with you. We were expecting it to be boring.
Yes. But also, it's like we were told to wait. So I said to Frank, come on, let's go and play some cards. And so we're doing that. And then Secret Service are coming around and they're just sort of asking us some casual probing questions as they do. And then when they went away, it's like, my friend said, do you realise there was Secret Service? And I said, yeah, I thought there was some sort of security. It's like, I could see the bulge of their guns. Well, we're not doing anything that's going to be a capital offence, are we? But yeah, anyway, so they realised we were no threat to them, and they said, "What are you doing here?" Then I said, "Well, we're supposed to be given a tour of the facility, so and that's what we've been promised. So looking very much forward to see like here's what you could have had they not been dragging the hills over the building." Actually, the new build was worse than the old build. The old one I was in was an old laboratory, and it was made out of 1950s prefab, and it was quite nice because the benches inside it were, you know, proper wooden benches, like I've got a chest of drawers here, when it's all been coated in thick layers of varnish. And the modern one is plastic crap, so all looks very clean and hygienic. But you wait like 6 months, and it's all scuffed up, and you know it's got Bunsen burner marks and what have you. But that's a different life. That's a different life. But yeah. So yeah, KSI, I don't get this, mate. You know I'm a flat Earth enjoyer. And I have publicly stated before, but I'll say it again for the record, that globalism is Satanism. It's the same thing. And this sort of leads into the thing of, because someone was going to say, does Hobbit not believe in the Ice Age? Well, I believe there was an Ice Age, but I don't know if it's the way they say it is. I don't know. Like, some people say the reason the Ice Age happened is we were originally a satellite of Saturn, and then when the sun came in, we got pulled away from Saturn, and that transition from Saturn to the sun is what caused the Ice Age.
There's been several ice ages, hasn't there? I mean, there was a little ice age in the 1800s where the Thames froze over and they had market stalls on it and everything.
Yeah, and people are ice skating. And the thing is, even as far... I remember in the 80s, like, I was saying to my mum and dad, I said, was it just me or was it actually colder in the 80s? Because I seem to remember big snows. And it's like, oh, yeah, it was.
I had to go to school in fucking snow waist deep.
Yeah, because my mum, she said, oh, yeah, I remember when I was working in the market and we'd get in for a cup of tea in the morning and the water had frozen solid in the kettle. So they had to wait for that to thaw out before they could have tea, and it was.
Didn't they just turn the kettle on? Would have been all right.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what you do.
People claim about how the weather's getting more extreme, but I think it's just a case that they just don't remember. I mean, I blame the heat wave of '76 when my mum was pregnant with me for all my problems.
Well, I remember. I think it was in 1992 or something.
I spent my first year sunbathing that year.
I remember it was 1992, and I just come back from Belgium for Christmas, and it was like, why is the road signs in my street all torn up and like windows broken? It's like, oh, didn't you know there was a tornado gone through your village? What, a tornado? And it's like, but we don't live in America. It's like, yeah, tornado. And that's when I got to first watch The Wizard of Oz, because we had American neighbours, and it's like, have you ever seen The Wizard of Oz? No. And I was watch The Wizard of Oz with them.
Did you put deep? Oh, was it Pink Floyd on at the same time?
No. I was only about 4 or 5 at the time, so yeah.
I've got some Mammoth-related stuff here. I've just found.
What you got?
Mammoth adjacent, maybe. I've just starting a vaccine trial for a killer elephant virus. Apparently, it's called endotheliotrophic herpes virus, and it has a mortality rate of up to 85%. And it's killed 7 calves at Chester Zoo.
Can you imagine what they'd do if that was people? Because like 99.6, and everyone shits their fucking pants, don't they?
Have we got to put masks on elephants?
Yeah, they have to have vaccine passports and everything.
How do you explain to people?
Like, do you remember the foot in mouth? That was disgusting. That was, wasn't it? When they were killing all those fucking animals, and you had farmers like buying taking cattle over to their mate's farm so you could get the insurance on it.
Do you know? I remember my dad saying that because they were saying about how they were having difficulty disposing the corpses. And he was saying, oh, you know, they really should ask the Germans to be honest and open up and explain how they got those ovens to work, because those ovens were self-sustaining on the fat of the victims. I'm like, oh, what, you mean the ones where the female blood is incendiary but male blood isn't? Now, yeah, can you imagine trying to explain
according to Alphabet Cat, if you give the elephants a Scotch egg, that will sort them out.
Oh, that makes it. Oh, yeah, because if they're eating, then the virus can't infect them, because that's how it works.
Oh, really?
What actually killed the mammoths? Could have been a similar virus, maybe?
Well, no, I want to get onto that just a bit, but just to address Hemi's point, remember this thing of if you eat a Scotch egg in the pub, then you don't have to wear a mask.
Right, I'm right with you now.
I see.
yeah. So what killed the mammoths? Well, the thing is, right, and I've read this, it's either in the Ringing Cedars of Russia or it's something else, But they're talking about that. No, caveman wasn't hunting mammoths because, look, it's incredibly tough and stringy.
Look,
Here's modern reports of people eating elephants.
The mammoth was definitely killed by because I've got a picture of it in the Ladybird Book of Dinosaurs where they're fighting it in the snow.
Yeah,
where they're fighting it in the snow with their spears.
So evil white man killed the mammoth.
Yeah, they were all hunting it in the snow.
Yeah, in Skyrim. Skyrim. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, apparently the dodo was like near enough inedible as well, weren't it? Because it was like super horrifically fatty, wasn't it?
It's like the worst KFC grease bucket you could get.
Yeah, like the worst bit of duck you ever had in your life.
I was going to say in Skyrim you can mammoth steaks and mammoth cheese. I always wondered what that would taste like.
Yeah, well,
is elephant cheese a thing? I'm going to look this up.
Well, you can get milk I suppose you can make cheese from any milk. So,
well, you'd have no problem getting the bucket under it, would you?
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's why you can't get mouse milk, isn't it? Because you can't get the bucket under it.
That's it. I know that dog's milk lasts longer than any other type of milk.
Yeah, because no bugger will drink it.
Yeah. So
Red Dwarf, you know that one, don't you, Dom?
What's that?
Lasts longer than the dog milk. The dog's milk. Yeah. So the thing is,
what the fuck? It's widely known that elephants fear cheese and will flee at the first whiff of it.
You what?
Elephants scared of cheese.
What?
It's widely known that elephants fear cheese. It's some sort of exploratory paper. I can only read like the description on Swiss Cows. It's widely known that elephants fear cheese and will flee at the first whiff of it. See, for example, what is not yet well understood is why this phenomenon occurs.
I wonder if you could get that processed cheese, like you put on burgers, and just throw it and see if you can stick it to an elephant's face.
Oh, God. So, now, here's the thing, right? I know from people that have eaten elephants...
A mammoth scared of cheese?
Wow. It'd be difficult to get it out of their... It'd be difficult to get it out of their wool now, wouldn't it? Yeah. So, here's the thing. With the elephants, which people have eaten, they say the meat is very tough. You have to boil it for hours, and even then, it's disgusting. So I don't.
Right, I've managed to open that paper. So what is not well understood is why this phenomenon occurs. More than a decade, academics have been researching this perplexing topic. Their work constitutes part of the booming new discipline known as pachydermophromology. Phromology, as in like phroma, as in cheese, which is defined as the study of elephant cheese interactions. This is a joke paper. This has got to be a joke paper, hasn't it?
Is this an April Fool's or a Babylon Bee thing? Because how you explain to I've got a PhD in what? Introducing cheese to elephants.
Yeah. Oh, there's references on it.
You can make human cheese. Human cheese, and I'm not talking about knob cheese either.
Oh right. So I've got the right. So the elephant's fear cheese was an accidental discovery made by the noticed elephantologist G. Coleman. The story of the discovery is now famous but worth repeating. After a hard morning following the herd, I'd sat down under a tree for lunch and unwrapped a particularly delectable chunk of cheddar sent up from the base camp. Suddenly I heard an enormous trampling sound, and when I looked, the entire herd was gone. His discovery, while dismissed at the time, was subsequently corroborated by other researchers. Several studies have confirmed the phenomenon and that it occurs amongst both African and Asian elephants. A recent report by the Elephant Research Institute established that smell is the primary means elephants detect cheese. Elephants detect cheese, and that they will ignore large pieces of cheese if tightly wrapped. Meanwhile, a French cheese expert asserts on his website, this is bizarre, that elephants do not flee from French cheese, and only the lesser cheeses of other nation. The creatures, they have good taste. No, he writes, this has got to be a joke paper. This has to be a joke.
Look, if someone's telling me that the elephants run a mile when they see a nice bit of crumbly cheddar,
yeah, I'm like, they're gonna shit themselves when they smell a bit of fucking camembert or something.
I was gonna say, because camembert, I mean, it looks like pus. It's nasty stuff. And I mean, I've eaten it before, but it's got to be cooked. And,
what? Recently, this has to be a joke. Recently, a new theory has exploded on the scene, has caused quite a stink. Based on several clever experiments, K. Mass has claimed that, in fact, elephants do not fear cheese at all, but instead fear the mice, which are attracted to cheese, which isn't true anyway, because mice are more attracted to chocolate than they are cheese. However, this theory, she calls the mass mouse hypothesis, MMH, has not yet been widely accepted. One researcher has published a series of articles roundly denouncing the MMH, and the debate has even spilled over into the popular press.
Sounds like they're it's the old thing of they're eating correlation with causation.
Yeah.
Would you eat this cheese? New York chef Daniel Angera managed to turn his wife's breast milk into a hard, crumbly, cheddar-like substitute with apparently delicious results.
The idea is like a French cheese expert. It's like, well, of course it's a French cheese expert. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Is that to say an expert in French cheese or an expert in cheese who is French?
Yeah. French. I don't know. No, because he did a faux French accent, didn't he? So I think it was a French expert of cheese.
Sorry, just some communist meme about. Oh, I agree with this. Actually, it says people should clock in when they leave home, not when they get to work. The commute is not free time. And then one of the responses to it is, "I make a salary, so I'm clocked in even when I fap." Poor fag.
Hobbit, have you ever made palmiers, which are also known as elephant's ears? It's a puff pastry
it's
thing.
Type of pastry, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can you do one with lemon curd in the middle? Oh, I should have to. Yeah, I think there's like some sort of lemon puff which looks like that.
I don't know. Is there elephant cheese? I don't know. I can't find out whether.
Well, the answer. I think the answer to that is: has anybody like got some milk from elephants and cheesed it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try elephant milk.
Yeah, they're mammals. They've got milk.
So then, if they milk, they must make cheese. Let's try milk products. See if that works. Yeah, circus workers could keep an emergency Dairy in their pocket if they're attacked.
Fuck. There's got to be more corroborating evidence that I'm not so interested in mammoths now. I want to know more about the mystery of elephants are scared of cheese. I mean, how will it? Like they say, like there's an ancestral memory. Like if you show a cucumber to a cat, even a kitten, it'll recoil in horror. There's even been times when I was working in the stables.
What's that from when Jimmy Savile?
I know from personal experience that you cannot hose down a horse. They will buck and rear in terror at it. They think it's a snake. So
apparently it says it right. Does elephant taste good? Elephant meat is thought to taste similar to beef or veal, but it's been noticed that elephant tastes gamier than its domestic counterparts. As a result, it tastes mildly of pork, but has a more robust flavour than beef or lamb because its muscles get less exercise. The taste is often compared to venison. So basically, it tastes like literally anything at any time.
So that's a load of bullshit because so again, I'm going to quote again The Ring and Cedars of Russia, right? Anastasia in it, who for some reason she's able to see far back. How
about this then? Which animal has the richest milk? So it's hooded seals, Hooded seal mothers produce the fattiest known milk. Human breast milk is about 3 to 5% fat in it, but with more than 60% fat, hooded seal milk would rival some of the richest Haagen-Dazs ice creams out there.
I have eaten mozzarella made from water buffalo milk, and it is gorgeous. Twice the protein, twice the saturated fat of cow's milk. It's gorgeous. Hey, they call me 007 at work. Oh skill, oh motivation, 7 poop breaks.
That's your mate, isn't it? The vegan.
Remember?
Yeah, raw vegan.
Yeah.
Remember? Was it Meet the Parents, where he's on about how he could milk a cat, and he said you milk anything with nipples. And then Robert De Niro says, "I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?"
Oh. Is that film also called Meet the Fockers? And that was like, oh look, it's funny.
That was the sequel, yeah. Because
right.
the whole premise was it's funny because Fokker sounds a bit like fucker.
Yeah,
it's gay Lord Fokker.
Yeah.
There was this joke about what was the stout comedian that did it? It wasn't Spike Milligan. It was another Irish one, contemporary of his. And he was saying, "Oh yes, there was Fockers behind me and Fockers in front of me." And then the interviewer says, "Well, weren't they Messerschmitts?" Sorry, it's like no, that was it. The interviewer is saying, "No, I'd just like to, for clarity of sake at home, he is describing his fighting against Focke-Wulf pirates. It's like, no, they were not in Focke-Wulfs. They were Messerschmitts."
Yeah, that's oh fuck, that's what's his name? The Scouser. No,
I
no,
thought it was Dave Allen.
No, it's Stan Boardman on Des O'Connor's show. And Des O'Connor's like cringing to fuck while he's saying it, and he
yeah, Fockers.
Elephant cheese myth, I don't know, busted, I think.
Uno says I've got some rennet. So yeah. Oh, that's it. The lizard saying circus workers keeping them. That's the thing, right? Who is it that discovered if you introduce cheese? I mean, right, that was it. I was going to say ancestral memories. Horses, cats, if you show them something that resembles a snake, they record in horror. How do elephants go, cheese? Fuck no, I'm out of here. Is this like the uncanny valley for elephants?
My favourite one of those is like we've got the uncanny valley. Like, what did we need to hide from that looked like people but wasn't when we were? Yeah.
That reminds
oh
me.
Shit! I've got
saying
another...
about.
Go on then.
Oh, sorry.
I've got another article in a sec. Go on, do you bit.
He's saying about cats seeing things that resemble a snake. Have you seen
that thing where they show them the cucumber?
Cucumber, yeah, they put it behind them and they turn around and they jump. I tried it on my cat. He turned around and looked at it and just walked off nonchalantly. And also when my cat was living with my parents up north at one point, say cats can detect earthquakes early. There was this earthquake. It was around the Gainsborough area, which was near where my parents lived. It was, strong enough to knock a load of chimneys off. My parents got up in the middle of the night and the house was shaking. What the hell's going on? Went downstairs and there was the cat just fast asleep.
Right, I was going to say, because like the thing is, like, you see rats come out from the sewers.
Hobbit, I've got an article for you from the Jerusalem Post. Neanderthals, woolly mammoth.
Before you do that, why is it whenever I see like an artist depiction of Neanderthals, it just looks like a caricature of Ron Perlman?
So Neanderthals somewhat smaller than Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
Neanderthals, woolly mammoths shared genetic material, say TAU researchers. So this is top science here from Hobbit. They both adapted to the cold, and research indicates a molecular resemblance in mammoths and Neanderthals, according to a new paper from Tel Aviv University. Experts say.
Have they collaborated with the French cheese expert?
Yeah, not yet, but they might do. So it's now possible to try to answer a question no one has asked before. Are there genetic similarities between evolutionary adaptation paths in Neanderthals and mammoths? Asked Professor Ran Barkai of TAU's Department of Archaeology and Ancient Near Eastern Cultures. Barkai, together with Medad Kislev, published the report titled Neanderthal and Woolly Mammoth Molecular Resemblance. Genetic similarities may underlie cold adaptation suite. Suite? May underlie cold adaptation suite. What is that? Does that even make sense to you, Hobbit?
So they got an ensuite bathroom?
Something like that. They got a new sofa. In the Human Biology Journal, the answer seems to be yes. This idea alone opens endless avenues for research in evolution, archaeology, and other disciplines, Barkai said. Well, you just find them by accident, don't you? So
we all have Neanderthal DNA because we were fond of fucking them before we wiped them out.
Yeah. Now, according to Stan Gooch, all modern humans are a hybrid between Cro-Magnon and Neanderthal, and in some races, the Neanderthal is more prevalent than the Cro-Magnon.
Yeah. Apparently, East Asians, it's the most prevalent in.
What, Cro-Magnon or Neanderthal?
Neanderthal.
Oh, really? Oh, because when I think of Neanderthal features, I'm thinking of Ron Perlman, and he's not very. Is he Asiatic? Is he the one they got to play the Sasquatch in that show? What was it called? The one where Jonathan Lithgow's family they got a friendly Sasquatch comes to live with them.
Yeah.
Bigfoot and the Hendersons.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah. Was that?
I think
that's the same. That's the same guy as Predator that played him in the movie, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That film. I mean, Ron Perlman's cousin brother was definitely writing the script for it because it's like, a typical American wasp family goes on a hunting trip, encounter Bigfoot, take Bigfoot home, he's vegetarian, and the family decide to become vegetarian. And also, Jonathan Lithgow gets rid of all of his hunting trophies because it makes Bigfoot angry.
Yeah.
Oh, and it also does that thing they do in the American films, where they got a very affluent family and they got like fridges just full of all sorts of like decent food and very nice house. They liked doing stuff like that. I remember in Back to the Future, I just thought, wow, Americans are rich. They got all this stuff.
So the archaeologists reviewed 3 case studies of relevant gene variants to ascertain the connection between Neanderthal and mammoth genetic components. They found evidence of the same material that allows mammoths to survive in cold climate to exist in the genes of Neanderthals. The first case study outlined the mutual appearance of the LEPR gene, related to thermogenesis and the regulation of adipose fat tissue and fat storage throughout the body, TAU's Department of Archaeology reported. The second case study engaged genes related to keratin protein activity in both species. The third case study focused on skin and hair pigmentation variants in the genes MC1R and SLC-A11. Mammoths and Neanderthals coexisted in similar geographic and environmental European settings during the Middle and Upper Pleistocene. According to synopsis of the paper, both were direct descendants of African ancestors, although both fully evolved and adapted in Europe during the Middle Pleistocene. The woolly elephant-like species has long been extinct, and Barkai fears the modern species of elephants could follow. At a time when proboscidines are under threat of disappearance from the world due to the ugly human greed for ivory, highlighting our shared history and similarities with elephants and mammoths might be a point worth taking into consideration, he said. I don't really get his wrap-up on that, though, do you, Hobbit?
So you're right, Hobbit. It was Kevin Peter Hall. He played Predator in Predator 1 and 2, and he played Bigfoot.
Yep. He's dead now, isn't he? Died a couple of years ago. Hobbit, yeah. Oh, it's muted. Just me and thee, Dom.
All right, okay.
Okay, then. So, were you going to tell us about the possibility of making a new mammoth, then?
Yeah, I've not actually much because it's I'm trying to find what they were we're on about. Don't know if it was they were going to inject an egg with.
Well, the semen seems to have completely disappeared because, my God, try looking for mammoth semen on the internet. Not a great fucking search term. That story seems to have disappeared. So they're just talking like an out and out clone that they'd chuck into a female elephant, I think is what they're talking about now.
Okay, I've got it here. There's a Wikipedia about it. Existence of frozen soft tissue remains and DNA of woolly mammoths has led to the idea that as a species could be recreated by scientific means. Several methods have been proposed to achieve this. There's cloning, gene editing, and artificial insemination. An elephant egg cell with sperm cells from a frozen woolly mammoth carcass. The resulting offspring would be a woolly mammoth elephant hybrid. The process would have to be repeated so more hybrids could be used in breeding.
But they've got both male and female mammoth corpses, haven't they? So they should be able to figure something out, shouldn't they? So they're saying here, the cloning of Dolly the sheep in 1996 popularised new technology where possible application to the de-extinction of species soon entered the scientific debate. In 2009, Spanish and French researchers cloned an extinct animal for the first time, and the bucado, the Capra pyrenica, although the offspring did not So they cloned the bucado, although the offspring did not survive. The cloning of a mammoth by the Dolly method would require recovering intact genetic material from a cell, which would be transferred to an ovule or an egg from a related animal, such as an elephant, and then implanting the resulting embryo into the uterus of a female elephant.
I've got a news flash here.
What you
now,
got?
audience and Hemi, do you remember earlier on you were talking about the puff pastry biscuits called the panier?
Right. Called the what?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. Well, its full name is Feuille de Panier, which means palm leaves. So, yes, it does resemble an elephant's ear, but it's called palm leaves in French.
Right, okay.
And it's a puff pastry biscuit.
Jim Cook says the most fearsome dinosaur of the Pleistocene era was the Morphosaurus Rex.
Oh, what about Morph? Yeah, that's it. You talk some more about the Pleistocene era.
The Pleistocene era is great. Ray Harryhausen looked over that, didn't he?
Did the Pleistocene era do not precede or come after the Play-Doh era?
The Play-Doh era? No, the Play-Doh is a derivative of the Pleistocene era, isn't it?
Ah.
Did you know most of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park weren't from the Jurassic era? They were from the Cretaceous era. So Cretaceous Park.
You know, the funny thing is, the title of Jurassic Park was based on Michael Crichton's book of the same name, and Michael Crichton's good with his research, so it seems weird he called it Jurassic Park.
Probably because I had a better ring to it than Cretaceous Park, I suppose.
Do you reckon they changed the dinosaurs then?
But changed them.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's have a look at Jurassic Park book.
Whilst you're looking that up.
Dinosaurs are very like kind of. By the time Jurassic Park was created, it was kind of established that dinosaurs would have had fur, and because they were sort of precursors to birds, and which
it's
fur
like
would develop feathers. And
it's like when they keep saying that, here's an artist's depiction based on a rabbit skull, and you look at a rabbit, it's a cute, fluffy little thing. Interdimensionalism makes a very good, interesting point. Pingu was from the Pleistocene era.
Pingu was definitely from the Pleistocene era.
Have you seen the Pingu animation on YouTube where it's
Fingu?
The Thing, singing. That's brilliant.
Not only have I seen that, but John Carpenter's seen it, and he gives Lee Hardcastle his seal of approval.
Oh, wicked.
What about
he's
Paul
seen
Hardcastle?
Well,
He
Lee
made
Hardcastle,
19.
Well, Lee
No,
Hardcastle
19.
did Pingu.
19.
Did Lee Hardcastle do the Simpsons? It's they had the Simpsons, and it's a recreation of the Purge. Get murdered.
Oh,
That was...
What's Lee Hardcastle done? Simpsons and Plasticine?
Yeah, I think so. Let me find it.
Oh,
I can't remember what it was called.
He also did the music video for Gunship's Tech Noir, where the bloke watches all the films and has a VHS tape slot in his thing, and when he puts the VHS tapes in, he gains the superpower of that film. It's like RoboCop, and he turns into RoboCop, or Hellraiser, and he turns into Pinhead.
Oh, right, okay.
Called The Simpsons Couch Gag. There's 3 parts to it.
Oh, cool. I've got to watch that.
Definitely worth watching.
Yeah. Oh, this is good cake. It's one called Opera. Yep, that's good stuff, that is.
Cake is a made-up drug.
Actually, the book sounds better than the. I'm just having a look through the book. No, it's still got velociraptors and Tyrannosaurus Rexes. So yeah, they're still not Jurassic, but there's still not Jurassic animals in it.
But
I had to scale up velociraptors because actual velociraptors were the size of chickens.
Yeah, because the velociraptor they used wasn't the Velociraptor, was it? It was the something else raptor that they used in the film. It's called like the like Davis Raptor. Say Davis Raptor or something boring like that.
It's probably doesn't sound as cool.
Yeah, it doesn't sound as cool as the Velociraptor, does it?
But what do they call a one-eyed dinosaur? Do you think he saw us?
Yeah. What do you think to that stuff about T-Rex's vision is completely based on movement?
How do they know?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, they reckon the T-Rex wasn't a predator; it was a scavenger, like a hyena. Because it had these, these pathetic little hands, but it had these huge jaws, which are for kind of crunching through bone. So it would be eating carcasses, basically.
So it's like a hyena type animal, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, how do we know the Tyrannosaurus Rex actually is that? Has anybody seen a complete intact Tyrannosaurus Rex?
How about this?
Skeleton?
What is it? So the computer tally failed to include newborn. This is like one of the plot points. The computer tally failed to include newborn animals having been programmed to stop counting once the assumed correct total number of animals had been found. What?
Yeah. My brain's shutting down at the
moment. So anyway, basically, in the film, everyone leaves the island and they just napalm the Costa Rican Air Force napalm the lot in the book.
Yeah, that sounds because I seem to remember there was a bit in the book where they got like a contamination, so they had like a cleanup squad wearing hazmat suits and flamethrowers.
I've only read one Michael Crichton book, and it was about some kind of nanobots that were kind of...
Oh, the Andromeda strain.
Was that it? And they were kind of sort of assuming human form.
Oh, no, that's not the Andromeda strain then. I've read a lot of stuff by him. I don't remember that one. I do remember. I think one of the best ones he's ever done. Well, there was the manuscript published posthumously about pirates. That was good.
Prey, it was called, the nanobots one.
Prey. Have you ever read Next? That was good. It talks about terrorism and how governments use terrorism to push their own agendas. So, in the book, there was speculation with a lot of bibliographies and footnotes in it, showing that the speculation in the book was saying, what if governments use terrorism to further their own agendas and abridge people's rights? And then the bibliography said, Yeah, here's all my citations to show that this bit of fiction is based on a lot of fact.
Yeah. I wouldn't call that speculation.
Well, that's the thing. Like, for example, he did a book. I can't remember what it was.
Some of his stuff is a bit samey. I mean, there's not really. You can't really put a fag paper between Westworld and Jurassic Park, can you?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's still bloody good. I'd enjoy both reading Westworld and Jurassic Park. No,
so wasn't he involved in ER as well?
Yes,
Right.
unfortunately, he was involved in ER, but I'm told it was a very successful hospital drama. Probably because George Clooney made women moist. But anyway,
yeah, because during his clinical rotations at the Boston City Hospital, Crichton grew disenchanted with the culture there, which appeared because he did that. Wasn't Coma written by him? Do you remember that film with Tom Selleck in it? Dom, did you ever see that one?
Coma, no.
Where they're killing people and stealing their organs in hospital.
Ow.
With that.
He did a story about industrial sabotage with aircraft, and he talks a lot about the FAA and the flight airworthiness things, and how if there's a plane crash, they do all these safeguards into it. And I was like, I can understand now why, statistically speaking, aircraft are the safest form of travel, because the amount of autistic detail with you do A checks for maintenance, then you do B checks, then you do C checks. There's so many redundant systems in aircraft and like redundant overlapping maintenance schedules that it's very rare for an accident to happen. Like, you remember when we were doing that
Congo.
one about...
Congo is a classic film, isn't it?
Isn't that about Ebola?
No, Congo's with fucking Tim Curry in another one of his fucking crazy accents.
Oh yeah, I never watched it because I was just like,
you've got to watch it. It's so funny. You've got a monkey that can do sign language. You've got fucking like I say, you got Tim Curry just absolutely chewing scenery like there's no tomorrow.
They have got monkeys that do something like Coco the gorilla.
Do you remember Runaway, Dom, with Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons was the bad guy?
No, I've not. I don't think I've ever seen a Tom Selleck film. I've only seen him in Magnum.
I've seen a few actually.
And Friends.
I didn't know he was in Friends. I remember I liked him in Magnum PI. But...
Oh yeah, and then this was something we were discussing. Sphere before Hobbit. Sphere is a companion piece to the Andromeda Strain.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can understand sort of it, but not really. The film.
Yeah, but he only says companion in here, so.
Yeah, it's not sequel in that case.
Yeah.
But no, the one about the aircraft was I said it's very good because it was like an investigative crime drama. Yeah, it was actually because it was about industrial sabotage and a conspiracy.
Oh, nice smell played though. He's just mentioned it. I actually smell it now. Just thinking about it, I probably haven't seen a bit of Play-Doh for about fucking 40 years. So I can remember the smell already.
It's got salt in it, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's very salty.
Is it?
Yeah.
I remember the old Play-Doh hairdresser set where he had like a guy with like holes in his head, push the Play-Doh through the holes, and it looked like dreads. That's quite. Back to Mammoths, actually. They are we're on about the different methods of recreating them. They're on about gene editing. In 2015, Swedish scientists published the complete genome, the complete DNA sequence of the woolly mammoth. Several projects are working on gradually replacing the genes in elephant cells with mammoth genes. It kind of seems like a waste of resources to me. It's interesting.
It's because you wonder who's funding it, because whoever's funding it is obviously going to be making as an idea to make some buck out of it. So are they gonna like make the money on selling the mammoth children or something? Are they?
I don't know. I guess whoever's funding it would have to be a kind of like Howard Hughes type character. Just it for the shits and giggles because I can't see any profit to be made from it. Well,
I don't know. Wouldn't zoos be paying money hand over fist to have a mammoth in their zoo?
Suppose, yeah. Maybe zoos are funding it, but they're all underfunded anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
I found out today. I didn't read into it. I just accept it as a fact that a panda in a zoo costs 5 times as much to keep than an elephant.
They just let the fuckers go extinct. It
Pandas.
Seems like they want to go extinct.
They've had enough, haven't they? Pandas have had enough, haven't they? They're like, yeah, I've had enough. I don't want to do fuck all. I don't really want to fuck. I've just kind of fucking had enough. Maybe they just give them a big fat line or something, because they need something, don't they?
I think pandas are a lot like we are. They don't breed well in captivity.
Mm.
I think they're suicidal because they're vegans. They're bears, for fuck's sake. They're supposed to eat meat, yet they eat bamboo shoots.
The thing is, the WWF couldn't have picked a worse symbol for like conservation of animals, because it's like, look, it's a creature that has decided through various means to not like evolve. It's a creature which should be extinct, and yet for some reason, I'd say quite cruelly, we keep them alive.
Why would the World Wrestling Foundation have panda as their symbol anyway?
When that happened, I got so cross. I thought they should have had a tag team. They're pandas versus like Adam. Oh no, WCW was Adam Bomb. Who was in WWF in the late 90s?
It
was the
Bushwhackers in there.
I think the Hart family was there. There was Bret Hart and
Undertaker.
Heart to
Undertaker.
Heart. I think they should. Could they have had with Heart to Heart, Robert Wagner and
I think it was too early for Stone Cold Steve Austin. He came later, but I think
that would have been. Wouldn't that have been like the Bushwhackers or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, weren't they that era?
Too late.
Yeah, late 90s. Hulk Hogan wasn't doing wrestling anymore, but
ICP when ICP were wrestling.
Oh, I didn't know. But that's the thing. You're saying Undertaker. I think Undertaker, Yokozuna, and Adam Bomb were all in WCW. I don't remember.
Undertaker was WWE.
WWF.
Daddy.
I'm not using this. No, that's it. So Yokozuna must have been in WWF, because there was a fight between Undertaker and Yokozuna where Yokozuna's like smashing Undertaker's face into this metal stairs. Then Undertaker immediately stands up, looks at him, and just says, "There are no mammoth ball bags." And Yokozuna's got this shocked look at his face, like, "Oh my god, I can't believe we're talking about mammoths. We're supposed to be wrestling."
So,
I'm trying to find out when they were wrestling.
Kendo Nagasaki, was he British wrestling? Was he in the? He's the one that had the mask, and everyone always tried to take it off, and they never could. He was out of it in the end.
Yeah. I remember. I sort of vaguely remember that there was.
In 1998, ICP had a 3-month stint in the WWF.
Oh well, that's why I don't remember them then, because they were flash in the pan. They weren't like it was the Hart family. That was it.
Oh shit! Yeah, they went to They went to WCW after that.
Okay.
Wasn't that into wrestling really? But some friends of mine are into it, so I've kind of got into it. But I like the women's wrestling.
Yeah. Well, why was there a WWF and a WCW?
What?
Different.
Yeah. Why was there like two like firms? It's kind of like having FIFA,
just like,
and then
it's like you have all the boxing and the darts titles, don't you? You have the BDO. Well, one of the two darts ones, the BDO and the BDF or something, is it?
The British Darts Defence Force.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. What, the National Action with titanium tips?
Mm. That's it.
I was never really into sports, although I did like paintballing.
Yeah. I've run out of stuff to talk about interesting mammoth and elephant facts. Like, did you know elephants are scared by cheese? Why are they scared by cheese? I don't know.
Do you want to do some unexplained histories? We haven't done that in a very long time.
We could do, but there's a few interesting things today. Like, for example, yesterday was 2/2/22. That was an interesting. I felt very anxious yesterday. Like, my heart was racing and everything. I don't know why I felt so terrified, but I thought it wasn't even like I was thinking something bad was going to happen. Maybe subconsciously I was. Maybe I was thinking they're going to do another, like, 11th of September thing.
Bizarre new worm species has one head and countless bodies.
Huh?
Yeah.
Are you superstitious then, Hobbit?
Well, it's not so much that I'm superstitious, but somebody pointed out to me, they're saying that, oh, look, the Two Towers thing being on the September the 11th is you got, the way you do it with the Americans is you do it 1909, but if you do, that's it, 9/11.
They're back to front, aren't they? 9/11's 9th of November, isn't it?
But if you put that in Roman numerals, 9 is IX, and then 11 is XI. So you got like the two columns, and then the two X's inside, and apparently that is supposed to be a sigil for Solomon's temple. And that's why they talk about the Twin Towers. They don't talk about Building 7 or the Pentagon, which also came down. But also today is Chris Chan's hearing. So, what is going to happen to Chris Chan?
Who's Chris Chan?
He's literally the motherfucker.
Yeah, he's fucked his mum. He's an internet retard that fucked his mum.
And
okay.
The reason it's taken so long since, like, he was initially, like, put into remand and into custody, and now he's getting his hearing, is probably because, like, the jury and the judges and all that, they're watching, like, the Chris Chan documentary, because I don't think someone has been as documented.
Oh shit! I've got some breaking news here. Uri Geller claims that an alien mass landing is imminent.
No, that's the thing they're talking about.
The opening line of this, like, tells you all you need to know about Uri Geller. The spoonbender in chief believes a recently discovered neutron star is actually evidence of aliens.
Well, he certainly is a bender.
I'm going to believe the word of a modern day fucking snake oil salesman, basically.
Oh, shit. Did your watch not start working when you put it on a copy of the Sun and he sent out his brainwaves?
Ah.
Oh yeah. Have you seen?
Do you remember that? Do you remember that, Dom? The bit it was either the Sun or the Mirror or something, weren't it? And it was like,
to like stop nuclear war.
he couldn't block up the Reading goal on that in that fucking cup final either, could he?
Have you seen, like, there's all this footage of people kind of putting them on the spot, like, here's a spoon, go on, bend this spoon then, and it's like,
son.
oh, the conditions aren't right. It's like, yeah, because you haven't got your fucking stunt spoon, that's why.
Hobbit, can your dog actually understand what you're saying? I know mine can't because he's as dumb as a box of frogs. He knows about 3 words. But to be fair, I did have a dog. I think the average dog vocabulary is supposed to be about 250 words. I did have quite a smart dog because he knew, like, all the words for walk and even euphemisms for walk as well. So you had to be really careful what you said around him because he really knew what you were talking about.
If you spelled out WALK, you'd understand that.
Yeah.
Don't they have regional accents as well?
Have you ever heard that one about that woman that adopted a dog and the dog didn't know a word she was fucking saying, eventually figured out, like, the dog spoke German or Spanish or something?
Well, no, that's true. I've heard in Belgium cows mooing differently to the cows over here. But here's the thing, right? Going back to the Uri Geller and the mass landing things, do you think they're like talking about, because it's more than one place?
There's something weird because Trump did that big dump, didn't he?
Well,
Jerry Nadler did a big dump, but Trump put out a load of FBI. Was it FBI or higher files of UFO stuff?
Well, they declassified all the things they had about UFO sightings from the US Navy. That happened I say recently.
Well, Trump did it, didn't he?
Well, there's been a lot of disclosures. Then the NASA's been hiring like a Christian theologian to try and.
But it isn't a lot of this stuff to get rid of freedom of information requests. So they dump all this out, including a load of dog shit stuff, and then it stops like freedom of information requests and things like that, doesn't it? So then they can clear the books.
I don't know about that. All I know is that if NASA are hiring like a Christian theologian to try and help them with disclosing aliens, I think they're ready to try and do some false flag thing with you know about Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam. Is it something we've done?
It'd be the worst alien you ever saw in your life, and you're going to be like, yeah, this is bullshit, NASA.
Well, apparently the trial run for this sort of stuff is they've been doing like holograms of rappers on stage. Like people can see a recording of Tupac Shakur as a hologram.
I think there was a South Park episode about that.
Oh, what the holograms of all the things?
Yeah, there was a hologram of Tupac and one of Michael Jackson or something like that.
Yeah. It's weird that they're doing all this hologram stuff, and all I just think they're doing is it's a trial run to see, like, how effective it will work. And so, I mean, they even sort of say that they'll do like holograms of Jesus in the clouds and stuff. I don't know. I really don't know. But the thing is, I get a feeling that these aliens are going to come down and be like, yeah, stop driving in cars.
Whatever it is, it's not good for us, is it?
And you should eat the bugs and live in a pod. That's what the aliens are going to be saying. The aliens will be like, oh my God, the aliens agree with everything that Greta Thunberg says.
But Arnie used the hologram trick in Total Recall.
Ha ha ha. You think this is really me? Well, you're right. It is.
That's good. Why did they do the remake of that?
The remake was shit. They didn't even get his ass to Mars.
It's like they took a lift through the core of the Earth.
Yeah, they just literally just shit on the whole thing. Even the short, it doesn't even bear any relation. It doesn't even bear any relation to the short story.
That Total Recall remake reminds me of like when they say it's a Beyond Burger. And it's like, why are you calling this thing that's got nothing to do with the burger a Beyond Burger? Oh, because you can't tell the difference. I clearly can tell the difference.
Yeah. And how could you go through the Earth's core? The Earth's core consists of a giant iron ball bearing which create the magnetic fields around the Earth.
Oh, wow.
So if they drilled through
it's a
that...
hollow Earth.
Oh, yeah. Or the Earth is flat.
Well, we saw that Godzilla film, the Earth's hollow inside, and you go upside down and right way round when you go through.
Yeah, there was a journey to the centre of the Earth. Didn't they? Wasn't that? It was like they found loads of like dinosaurs and shit in there or something.
Oh yeah,
anyone know that story? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. Do you remember the core where it was like, oh, Earth's slowing down. We got to put this bomb into the Earth's core to get it going again. Whenever I saw that, I thought, this is the most batshit, absurd, implausible sci-fi I've ever seen. Then I saw Sunshine, which was like, LOL, what if we did it, but this time we put a bomb into the sun? And Sunshine was such a shit film.
And somebody comes back from the dead for no apparent reason. We're not going to try to even attempt to explain it.
Oh, and more than that, it's a case of, oh, well, we're not the first expedition to throw a bomb into the sun. And so rather than going, like, just ignoring it and we'll come and explore it once we've done our mission, no, let's go over there now and do, like, a Scooby-Doo thing and see if there's any ghosts in the haunted ship. Oh, look, there's ghosts in the haunted ship. Oh, what hilarious consequences that is.
What is this? Woman with superpower can see 1 million colours. I can see 1 million colours.
Well, what about, like... Yeah, but I remember since Windows 95 days, there've been like 16.7 million colours.
Well, she can see 1 million. 1 million colours.
What, has she got like different names for all of them then?
Fucking hell, that's a lot of names, isn't it?
It's weird that, I don't know why, but apparently 1 in 6 men are colourblind, but only 1 in 200 women are.
Ah, I've been explained to this by...
yeah, that's because women are never wrong, Dom. You should know this.
Yeah.
Right, you see, now this has been explained to me by... Unfortunately, my friend has since died from COVID because he's not responding to any of my texts, so I just assume he's dead. But Capstan told me that, you see, men, they've got good peripheral vision, but they're more likely to be colourblind because in evolutionary things... It didn't matter if you could not see what the colour of the deer was. If you could see it moving and hunt it, then you got meat. Whereas with women, it's good for them to have good colour acuity because then they can tell the difference between an unripe berry, a ripe berry, and, oh, that poisonous berry looks similar, but it's slightly different. So that's why it's important for women to see colour well, and it's important for men to see movement well.
Men were the hunters and the women were the gatherers, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Makes sense.
But that's the story he told me, and I thought, okay, that makes sense because he said, like, statistically, men are more likely to be colourblind than women.
A friend told me he was colourblind, so I stuck my middle finger up at him and said, "How many fingers am I holding up?"
What else have we got in the unexplained mysteries? I wanted to talk about this dog thing. So the development of executive functions occurs slowly over the course of childhood. I've skipped a bit. They as they get older, children get better at organising their thoughts and controlling their behaviours and emotions. In fact, humans are the only known species to develop advanced executive functions. Like other species like birds, primates and dogs have rudimentary executive functions similar to young children. In humans, our ability to develop executive I don't even know what is a... Right, so executive functions are cognitive skills that allow them to control their behaviour, plan for the future, solve difficult problems and resist temptation. Well, dogs can do that because you can train a dog to wait for a treat and things like that. But dogs don't have this. Dogs don't have this, according to this dippy bitch.
I see.
Do you want a crazy kooky Beatles conspiracy theory?
We're going to do a whole episode of that, though, aren't we? Is this a teaser?
Well, in that case, this is a teaser because I'm not sure if we talked about the Paul got replaced theory. But
Corona did it.
So here's the thing, right? So the summary of this is who was Jimmy Savile and why did he tour with the Beatles? Did you know Jimmy Savile toured with the Beatles? Was he an occultist like Aleister Crowley? Was Savile merely a Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein. British intelligence. Epstein. Like
if your name's Steptoe, then it's Epstein.
Yeah, well, like with Epstein, like Einstein. So anyway, was Savile merely a Jeffrey Epstein?
Savile.
Hot shingles in your area. Was Paul replaced by the son of Crowley? And then there's a YouTube link which I'm not typing in. But so this is from this is a weird album cover. It's the Beatles, Yesterday and Today.
Oh, is that the one with the babies on it?
Yeah, and they got lab coats and there's gore.
You're always with the babies out the windows.
That's weird. That is
fucked up. That is fucked up. That is.
Yeah, the funny thing is, in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, there's like all the pictures of the people in there. I haven't looked into it, but I do know Aleister Crowley is one of the people. It's like, why would the Beatles be interested in the Satanist? But anyway, this is from the Liber CDXV, so 165. This is from Liber 165 by Aleister Crowley, the Paris Working. Aleister Crowley's voice. The supreme right would be to bring about the climax in the death of the victim, but by this right, one would attain the
hang on. The summit of magical art. Yeah. Even better would be to slay a girl, preferably a willing victim. After violating her, she should be cut into 9 pieces. These should not
Who
be
said this?
eaten. Aleister Crowley. These should not be eaten, but divided as follows: head, arm, legs, and quadrisected trunk. The names of the gods appropriate are to be written on the skin. The arms are then to be flayed and burnt on a pan or vesta, like Swan Vista. The legs, treated in the same manner, should be offered to Priapus, Hermes, or Juno. The right shoulder is sacred to Jupiter. Where note here spelled with 1 P in contradistinction to the general practice of the record. The left buttock to Venus. The head should not be flayed but burnt simply, and that in honour either Juno or Minerva. The right should not be employed on ordinary occasions but rarely, and then for great purposes. It should not be disclosed to any man. So, kill a girl after raping her, cut into 9 pieces, number 9. Suspicious number of heads and meat on the album cover. So, the Beatles, yesterday and today. How many heads can I see? Including the Beatles heads, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only see 7 heads, but then there's 2 bodies as well, so that makes 9.
Oh,
It was yeah.
it sounds like he's invoking gods of different pantheons there. Or are they kind of like the MCU or something?
Aleister Crowley's chaos magic, from what I can understand, is like shit. Throw it against the wall and see what sticks. Because I've been told...
Jim Cook, going back to earlier, said that's nothing. Twitter can see 1 million genders.
Yeah. Yeah. So... I don't know about you, but I'm out of steam now. So I mean, I'm sure there's other interesting things on.
See what else in the news.
Mysteries.
Yeah, there's a woman on morning TV who identifies as a wolf. But I don't know why that came out as wolf. I don't know why that came out. 27-year-old Naya Okami from Seattle sees herself not as a human, but a wolf in human skin. So basically a furry, but she's too lazy to make the costume, I think.
Actually,
I think I've seen a TikTok clip of that.
Oh God! Right.
Just editor's note here: the woman with superpower can see 100 million colours, so not just a million, but 100 million.
Hobbit, listen to this. Listen to this for fantastic journalism. SpaceX rocket will crash into the moon in March. The upper stage of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launched in 2015 will soon have a close encounter with the lunar surface.
Right. Okay. Just to go back to your previous one. Actually, it's not a fairy. It's an otherkin, and she identifies as a wolf.
Lazy furry. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Have you seen this bit where this dude, he's on a cliff edge and he fucking 50 million point turns this car?
Oh God, yeah, I've seen. It's incredible.
Shall I play it? You seen this one, Dom?
It's literally he's using.
Have a look on the stream. You'll see it'll pop up in a sec.
Where the wheel of the car goes.
This
over
dude does a 50,000 point turn on his car. I don't know why he didn't turn around in the driveway or just back up.
26 point turn, yes, and it's incredible. He basically waits until the rear wheels go off the cliff edge, then goes forward.
Oh shit! Look at that! Look! One was off the edge there. Fuck me!
I tell you what, I was driving in the road which was unsuitable for HGVs today, and that was a bum clenching moment.
Yeah, but nothing like that. I mean, you fucked that up, and you're in a world of hurt, aren't you?
It's not a thing.
Fucking no! And they say Indians can't drive.
Was that in India?
Hong Kong.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's amazing. Some of the chinkies they can really do it. Like
fucking now, look at that. Where both wheels are literally just on by a fucking. Oh Jesus Christ!
Speaking of videos, I don't think this video, by the way, has been shown to the people in the chat because I haven't seen anything yet.
Oh fuck no! I'm on.
No,
I'm on the web.
Yeah, replay it so people can see it.
I was on the wrong browser, dickhead.
Whilst you do that, look in general. There's a video of a flying deer.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, let me just play this clip. I've gone like all fucking hell and stuff. So that's it.
47 UFO sightings during 2021 in Scotland.
Scotland.
Yeah, well, they're all Russian planes, aren't they?
Well, they're all drinking the Bucky, aren't they? You're going to see UFOs when you're on the Bucky, aren't you?
A question there's a question here in Space and Astronomy saying, what would happen if the Earth stopped spinning? Absolutely nothing, because it's a flat stationary plane. Fraudsters do a Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They take a dead man into the post office to claim his pension.
That's Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah.
Pilot baffled by mystery
Hobbit,
object.
that's Weekend at Bernie's.
Wasn't it Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Weekend at Bernie's, Hobbit.
Yeah.
Is that the other name for Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No, it's called Weekend at Bernie's. It's a different film with different actors in it.
Is that the one where they get his dad's sports car, but they decide in order to fix
No, that's Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Where they take the dead body, where they take the dead body around to do stuff is Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, and they staple his wig back onto his head.
I've only seen Weekend at Bernie's 2. I've only seen the sequel when they bring him back to life through voodoo. Have you seen that one?
Is that the one where he's got like an automated answer machine message so that when they ring him up, it answers and they're like, oh, okay, he's not dead?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember it that much. Just remember it seeing it down the video shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Dom last saw these films on VHS a bit, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god! That's a horrible story. Mega spider. It's so large it can bite through fingernails.
Ah, fuck!
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good for me, who's spider-phobic. Oh yeah, you seen the bizarre new worm species has one head and countless bodies? Look at that fucking horrible thing.
Oh, no, I'm not looking at that. 50 million crabs called chaos.
A field trip later confirmed that the worms were living inside host sponges in the sea off Sado Island.
50 million crabs on Christmas Island caused chaos.
Were they doing the crab dance? Do 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 do.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard about that. All the crabs just come out of the sea all in one go and just like in a wave up the beach, and people just like leave their doors open so they can just go through their houses and out the other side.
Weird.
Otherwise, they kind of climb up, like they form big piles and climb up. And
there's an article on Pistories about spontaneous human combustion, so that might be a good episode for next time. Okay. Can I go to bed yet?
Have you heard some woman who's obviously not mental has married the colour pink?
That's what I wanted to tell you, yeah, because when you're talking about 100 million colour woman, I was like, oh, that's nothing. Have you heard about the woman that married the colour pink? Yeah, and it's just like, that's why I don't want to do Tuesday's show anymore, because it's like, LOL, look at me, I'm in the news now.
Kitten K Sarah, who isn't insane, maintains she has been in a relationship with the colour pink for over 40 years, got married to it during an intimate Las Vegas wedding ceremony on January the 1st. Unsurprising, everything was pink, blah, blah, blah. She looks a bit like a geezer.
Have people gone more insane lately?
Yes, they have.
Is it the pandemic? Is it the
people are encouraged to go sane, aren't they? Insane.
Yeah, is it Russian? What do you call it? Meme farms and what's going on?
It's Russian 5G gay rays turning the frogs gay. Oh, here's a scintillating article, which I'm sure will not be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Computer models predict the collapse of society by 2040. Do I even read that type? When did this come back? Back in the 1970s, scientists at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, also known as MIT, combined data from multiple sources concerning population, resource usage, and economic factors, calculate the most likely time that modern civilization will experience a full societal collapse. I don't know what full societal collapse is, but it probably means when there's no food in shops and there's no petrol in pumps.
Well, there was Douglas Murray, a journalist, who was going on about this, how people become obsessed with sex and gender, and it tends to happen before their society collapses, like the Roman Empire and various other examples,
right.
and we're going through it right now.
Well, the other thing G.K. Chesterton said, which I thought was very good, he says, a dying man collects remedies around himself, like a dying society collects laws. But yeah, so in 1970s, the future.
Is it you or Ian, Dom, that watched the Craig Charles UFO series? Is it? I think is it Ian, or have you watched it as well?
No, that was Ian. I think. Yeah, I've not watched that.
I think it was.
Speaking of Craig Charles, have you seen there was a 1997 panel show called Space Cadet, where Craig Charles and Bill Bailey were the team captains?
Have you seen there's a video of him from when he was in Coronation Street smoking crack in the back of a taxi?
What? He's actually in Coronation Street, like as an actor.
He was in it. He was in it at the time. It was filmed at the time. He was in the back of a taxi in a completely set. On his when he weren't working.
Oh right, so it wasn't like the character as part of his role has to be performing smoking crack in the back of a taxi.
Do you remember he was involved in that? I think was it called Ghost Watch or Ghost something? It was this sort of 90s, early 90s, late 80s. There was this kind of ghost program based on Halloween.
Ghost Watch.
Yeah, Ghost Watch.
We should
he
actually.
was like the roving reporter, wasn't he?
I do actually have Ghost Watch on my hard drive. I could actually share it around to you guys, and we could do probably not a live watch, but we could do a watch and review of Ghost Watch.
Yeah, because I remember seeing it as a kid, and believing every word of it.
Yeah, Craig Charles was the roving reporter, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Mike Reed. Have a look at this.
Was it Sarah? What's her name? And
oh God, will LicoVision be 2022's first new TV friend?
Have you seen the Japanese scientist? And he's got it's a removable plastic cover you can have for a screen. It's got some scents in there, and it's basically a flavor synthesizer which combines the various scents together. Yeah. And they're saying, it'll let you taste chocolate or strawberries. And it's like, no, it's going to be used for porn. They're going to use it to synthesize the actress's arsehole.
Sweaty butthole. Is it going to sweaty butthole flavour TV?
Yeah, pretty much.
I've already seen it. There's a
Do you remember the old scratch and sniff back in the day, Dom? Do you remember you could get the scratch cards and do the scratch and sniff?
I do remember those.
Stinky stickers. I remember those.
Yeah.
Oh, where's Machu Picchu again?
That's in Peru.
Yeah. The previously unknown structures found near Machu Picchu.
Well, the polygonal builders, which predate the Romans and the Etruscans in Italy, the polygonal buildings look exactly like the Machu Picchu polygonal blocks.
Yeah.
I found that article. The headline is NASA sought advice from priests on impact of alien contact. So this thing with all the people talking about aliens, I reckon they're getting ready for some sort of soft disclosure.
Have you seen the United Nations recently failed to agree on an outright ban of autonomous weapon systems? So they're talking about Terminators, AI killers.
Yeah, let's just have a Skynet in control of the nuclear biological.
Yeah, because that usually works well in fiction, doesn't it?
Oh, I mean, what about drones? Are they kind of?
But what if the AI becomes like all the other AIs before it, incredibly racist, and it's like, well, I'm not going to kill all of humanity. I'm just going to kill these problem.
Baby is found growing in woman's liver.
Oh dear, that's
some weird kind of ectopic. It's an ectopic pregnancy in a liver.
That's not just ectopic. That's like, how the hell does sperm and a fertilized zygote get into your liver?
Is that one of those things where like there's two twins in a womb and one of them gets absorbed into the other and only one of them's born, so they've got the genetic material
they're saying
of the other one?
They're saying it's an ectopic pregnancy, so it's like a completely separate pregnancy. It's not a is it a zygotic twin? Is it, Hobbit? The ones that get absorbed.
I can't, because
do you remember the twins episode? Like everyone involved felt quite sick at the end of the twins episode.
I try to forget the twins episode, but I find it very interesting that you can get these half females, which by all intents and purposes, they look female, but it's just an X chromosome. It's not XX, so it's an XO.
Oh, the Viking blood eagle ritual was anatomically possible, Hobbit.
What, where you open up the rib cage?
The blood eagle, wasn't that where you pulled the lungs out the back?
Out the back, yeah.
All right.
So the particularly infamous so-called blood eagle was a gory ritual where these warriors are said to have performed to their most hated enemies. The ritual allegedly involved carving the victim's back open and cutting their ribs away from their spine before the lungs were pulled out through the resulting wounds. The final fluttering of the lungs splayed out on the outspread ribs would supposedly resemble the movement of a bird's wings, hence the eagle in the name.
That's really disgusting. In more pleasant news, found that thing. That link, by the way, about the Beatles and the Aleister Crowley stuff. There's a 45-minute documentary called "Was Jimmy Savile a Wizard?" So I'll put that in Fortean words.
Yeah.
If you go on to terroristism,
that's Caber's mate, isn't it? Society X did that.
Society X.
Yeah, I've tried to get him on, but I haven't spoke to him in a while.
I've never spoken. Oh, I remember Society X. Yeah.
Yeah. I have DM'd him and asked him to come on before, but he said he was quite busy at the time because he was just finishing it off. But I suppose I ought to DM him again.
Well, I've put it into terroristism-agram and the documentary. I'm going to watch it probably tomorrow.
I've already seen it because Caber got asked me to watch it, and I watched it, and it was pretty interesting. But Society X is the guy that made that. I think
I haven't seen it. I thought Society X was Clown X. They're two different X's,
Society.
Aren't they?
They're two X's. They're different X's.
Yeah. Which is not to be confused.
I haven't heard from Clown X, I suppose.
He
shit! Hold on.
Occasionally,
the related content exquisitely preserved dinosaur embryo has been discovered. An unhatched dinosaur resembling a 17-day-old chicken embryo has been discovered by paleontologists. The embryo, which looks like something out of a scene from Jurassic Park, measures around 27 centimetres long and belongs to a species of bird-like dinosaur known as an oviraptorosaur.
Oviraptorosaur? What's that?
Remember that was about a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, this is getting older. This is December 22nd. They found it in China. Have they had it yet?
Yeah, they have that horrible. They
that duck thing.
They eat balut, like where it's a duck embryo in an egg.
Yeah, they wait for the embryo to start, don't they? And that's when they do they like pickle it forever until it becomes. Do they pickle it for ages? What's that?
That's where they bury eggs for like.
Oh, the one in Virgin Piss. Is that the one in Virgin Piss, is it?
Oh, what you mean, the young virgin boy eggs? It's very good for the doctor's wallet if you buy them. No, in more pleasant news, Discovery are retreading old rope, old tires.
Retreading old rope. That's a nice phrase, that is, Hubby. You got it spot on, I think, mate.
Retreading old rope, yep. So they're getting old UFO cases, and they're making a new documentary about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Oh
shit! Do you want to talk about cops encountered werewolf near the River Thames? That'll do us for a last story, then, won't it?
Yeah. Okay.
According to historic accounts tell the story of two police officers who had a terrifying encounter in Berkshire, England. According to author and former Berkshire policeman Brian Langston, PC Tom Walters and PC Lucy Palmer had been out on patrol in the early hours one morning in November 2000 when the incident happened. The pair had been in their patrol car at Windsor Leisure Pool in Stovall Road when their headlights illuminated what they described as an enormous wolf-like beast. It looked too big to be a dog and seemed irritated we had disturbed it, said Palmer. It had an odd gait and walked towards the river where it vanished. It was later discovered that a similar creature had been sighted 10 years before and by another police officer, PC Gail Emptage, who had been on late-night burglary patrol. While cycling along the side of the river, she had caught sight of what she initially assumed to be a large, shaggy dog, but which quickly turned out to be some sort of large wolf. It was so big, my first thought that it must be a St. Bernard, she said. As it loped across the road just 20 feet ahead of me, it was clearly illuminated by the street lighting, and I could see it had the appearance of a huge wolf. There was no doubt in my mind it was solid and real, yet she even described it as having an air of arrogance and almost human intelligence, with eyes that glowed with an intense yellow-green luminosity. It was nothing like any dog I have ever seen, she said. Oh, fuck. How much would you have shut yourself?
But how is that a werewolf? Did it if it didn't shapeshift?
Well, she said it's big and appeared to have human intelligence, and also a journalist wrote this article.
It wake up in London Zoo and have to steal a kid's balloons.
Yeah, and a woman's red coat. Jim Cook, there you go. Did a Chinese member of the dig team try and eat it? You know, everyone knows that's the next one coming, don't they?
Well, the next virus.
Yeah.
Nootropic.
Right, so we done, lads. Yep. Night all, stay spooky, don't have nightmares, etc., etc.